In today's video, I'll be giving you the best way to tiny task efficiently to get yourself gems while you're AFK. A few things about tiny task I want to mention before the video starts. A, it is only something you can get on computer. Mobile users, I would highly recommend downloading an auto clicker app and go ahead and use the time machine. But if you're on computer, you can go ahead and use tiny task. It will absolutely be the best way to AFK farm gems. I went from having 0 gems to about 19k gems in it's been about 2 days now. So not bad at all. You also get eggs, which gives you even extra gems. So it's just a super efficient way to get gems. I'll be teaching you how to do it in this video. It's very beginner friendly. You can have bad units as long as you have Marines Fort unlocked. I will not be giving anyone the tiny task file I personally used for this video because it's just not gonna work for you. It will take longer to get it from me than to just record it on your own. If you use my tiny task file, you need to have the same internet speed as me, so we load at the same time. You need the same monitor resolution as me, so if I'm clicking here, you're also clicking here and not like over here. And so it's really just not worth it to try to use my tiny task file. I guarantee to you it will not work. So please just follow the tutorial and do it on your own. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers before September, but that is only a few months away. 83% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed, so it would mean a lot to me if you could help me reach my goal by subscribing. Enjoy the video. The requirements for this go as following. You're gonna want to have units, ideally level 100, but they don't have to be, but level 100 would be incredibly helpful. You want to have units with a lot of range. So I'd say let's go with 18 or higher would be ideal. Decent damage. It really doesn't need to be any higher than 3k. So this unit here is going to be perfect. Endeavor is going to be perfect. And then on top of that, circle AoE is also ideal. So Endeavor is a perfect pick if you guys have him. Like I said, ideally level 100, but not a necessity. This is weird to say, but I would also not recommend unique units, because unique units will make it so you can only place that unit once, which will actually make it a little bit harder to get the tiny task correct. Because if you mess up, well, you could only place one, so you're kind of screwed. So I would actually recommend divines, no traits, literally anything that isn't unique. My next choice is going to be Meliodas, because I'm pretty sure he's also circle AoE, so I'm going to go ahead and select him. Next, I'm going to go with Esdeath, lots and lots of range, and also circle AoE. After that, I think I'm going to go with Denji, so we'll go ahead, select Denji, good range, and I believe he's also circle AoE. I know it becomes cone, but at the start, I believe he is circle. Then I'm deciding to choose Itachi, and then guys, make sure you leave your 6th slot open for Irwin. Irwin is not a must-have, but it's an easy unit to get, and it is the best one for tiny tasking. I would highly recommend having at least Irwin in your party when you're doing this, and you're also going to need at least one other damage unit. You could run with just Endeavor, Irwin, that would work. Endeavor, Meliodas, Irwin. You really don't need all of these units, but they're just there kind of as like a safeguard in case you do mess up the placement. So Marines Fort has 2 different spawns. There's one where your camera is going to be faced more upward, something like this, and then one where it's more laid back like this. Those are the only 2 camera angles. You always spawn in the same spot on Marines Fort, which makes it probably the easiest map to tiny task. So if you guys are wondering why I'm not showing you guys like Planet Namek, Snowy Town, any of these, it's because their spawns are more randomized and harder to tiny task. You can figure out a tiny task for Namek using Irwin tactics where you just spam them down, but I would not recommend that. Instead, I would just recommend going with Marines Fort. If you don't have Tiny Task downloaded, just search it up on Google. Please do be careful though. Make sure you're downloading a real Tiny Task and don't click on any suspicious ads, anything like that, because it could possibly get you a virus. Once you have Tiny Task downloaded, you can open it up and you'll see multiple menus. Go over to Preferences, which is the last one, and then go ahead, make sure you're on Play Speed 1x. Make sure you have Continuous Playback on. Recording Hotkey is personal preference. I use F8. And then for Playback Hotkey, I use Control-Shift-Alt-P. So those are the 2 settings I use on that. It's up to you what you guys want to do that. And then all you want to do is loading to the lobby normally. Don't start recording. We will start recording once we load into Marines Fort. And now I'm going to tell you specifically when to start and stop the recording. It's very important you get this part right, because we are going to be using the replay feature, which can sometimes take a little bit longer to load than normal. or from other times in comparison. So it's important that you start and stop around the same time I do it, and take the safety precautions I do, just to make sure everything works. So we're going to go ahead, we are going to load in to Marines Ford. So let's select, let's hit start, and we will start loading in. Once we load in, guys, I will show you guys exactly what to do step by step. There's going to be a point where we're pretty much just waiting for wave 23 to come, but at the beginning, we got a lot of placing to do. We want to make sure, because the timing could be messed up at the start, especially if you load in a little bit late, the first few units we do want to spam place. In the same spot, though. Never ever try to place units in multiple spots. If you do that, then it could lead to you accidentally not selling the unit when we want to stop, and the time test will go on for way too long, and it just messes it all up. So we're gonna load in, and I'm gonna hit F8, or my recording hotkey. All right, I'm gonna say F8. That's my recording hotkey, guys. Keep that in mind. When I say F8, I'm talking about recording. So I'm gonna load in here, and I'm not gonna move at all. I'm gonna wait for this to start fading away and hit F8. Bam. I hit F8. So as soon as it started to fade away, the text at the top, I hit F8. Now, I'm gonna wait a bit. At around 9-ish seconds, I'm gonna start just zooming out, because we want to give that extra time for maybe slow loads, anything like that. Alright, I'm gonna use O to zoom out. Remember, you cannot use scroll wheel or right click on tiny tasks. Now, I'm gonna let it auto start, but I'm also going to make sure I click yes a little bit after, like this. I'm clicking in the spot yes would be. Now, in Marines Ford, there's two possibilities for the start. You can get a Marine Officer, which is a fast enemy, or you can just get slow enemies. So for the first unit, use hotkeys. So I'm going to hit 1, and I'm going to have this unit placed over here. I'm going to spam 1 and left mouse button. Right now, on my keyboard, I am clicking 1 and mouse button, all just rapidly. Alright, so we're going to be placing this first endeavor here. Remember, do not try to click here and then click here, just here. Next up, we're going to place one endeavor down here in this little corner spot, like right around here. Now, we got 2 endeavors down. We got 1 at the start, 1 over here in the back in case we get a fast enemy at the start of our game. Second, I'm going to go ahead and place our 3rd endeavor, which I believe, yep, the final one I can place. I'm actually going to place it pretty close to this one, a little bit further back. We do want to be careful, because in some runs, it may try to place here, depending on your position. But I'm going to go ahead, only click once. Bam, it is placed, okay? And if you want to, guys, if you're worried, you can always go back. I like using hotkey, so I hit 1. I'm going to hit left mouse button, and then I'm going to hit Q. Okay? So what this does is, if for whatever reason I didn't have money at the time, it's placing the units there now. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to get the Irwins down. We want to get them down on the earlier side. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, just like that. In case somehow some units start to leak, a unit fails to be placed. Let's say this endeavor doesn't place, but these 2 do. Maybe we need those extra Irwins. Now at this point, you would probably be fine if you have an endeavor level 100 or any other decent unit that's level 100 and has circle AoE. Circle because, guys, we're placing far away from the track. That's why we want high range. You cannot place units like this. Because I guarantee to you, if you place units like this, when the position changes, it's possible you're going to be placing on the track and it's going to be all messed up. So I am placing down here. Also, keep in mind, guys, I got the lower spawn. You can see here, I am facing more forward. There is a spawn, like I said, which gives more of a bird's eye view. It's higher up. It's a higher angle on the camera. If you get that spawn, I would highly recommend restarting, because this tiny task tutorial is specifically for this spawn location. So if you got the other spawn, I would highly recommend just quickly going back to lobby and re-recording the tiny task file. Now, like I said, we got all of our endeavors placed down. I will go ahead. Okay, Meliodas is cone AoE. Alright, so that's my mistake. Don't bring Meliodas, but we still brought him, so I'm gonna go ahead, guys. Whoever your second unit is, or 3rd, 4th, whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not the Irwin, we're gonna place one actually really close to this edge over here. So I'm gonna go 1, and then I'm actually gonna place another one right next to it. So 2. And you know what? I'll actually place the 3rd Meliodas. No, we're not gonna do that. This one's a little bit too close to the red. So I'm actually gonna go ahead. I'm gonna place this one over here with these units. So I'm gonna go ahead, place. Now, Esdeath, a very big range in circle AoE. Esdeath is a great unit to bring. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna place 2 Esdeaths over here. Remember, guys, I'm just saying my units' names, and then I'm going to place a 3rd one right about here. I'm saying my units' names. Okay, you may not have Esdeath, you may not have Endeavor. Whatever units you're using, just follow the same tactic I am going with. Denji here, I'm going to go ahead. We're running out of space, so we are going to have to start placing up top, which for this camera angle, you don't really want to place up top because that's most of the time how it gets messed up. You know what? Actually, I can probably place one more down here. This still hits track. So I'm going to place one down here, but then for these ones, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to place them up here, which will probably get messed up, but that's fine. So there we go. Place those two down there. Perfect. I'm actually not going to place Itachi. I already got a lot of my units placed down, so not really necessary for me. So this is what I am running with. I'm not going to upgrade anyone. The reason you don't want to upgrade anyone is because this defense will be enough to get to wave 23. And if for whatever reason it does mess up, these units will probably not be able to make it past wave, I don't even, like 35-ish? Maybe a little bit sooner than that. And so if it does mess up somehow, I can either A, re-record it, or B, I could just live with the fact that it's going to be a little bit less productive than, you know, an optimized tiny task. It will probably take you a few attempts, okay? For whatever reason, tiny tasks just somehow, in some way, get messed up sometimes. So it may take a couple of recordings to get the tiny task you want, but do just follow this pattern and it should work pretty much perfectly. Now at this point, it is just a waiting game, so we'll go ahead. I am going to speed it up for you guys instead of skipping ahead, because I don't want you guys to think I changed anything, so we'll go ahead. We'll speed it up now until about wave 23, which is when we need to move on to the next step. Alright, we are getting close to the point where we're going to want to start selling. Something I do want to mention, they added a new setting recently, which I have enabled, that does put my upgrade GUI on the left. So no matter where I click on a unit, over here, over here, over there, my GUI will always be over here. This setting is not something you need to turn on, but I think it actually does help when it comes to these tiny tasks. So I would recommend turning it on, but it's up to you. If you don't have it on and you see that my stuff starts looking weird when I'm selling, that's why. Also, I do want to quickly explain why we only placed each unit once. In my past tiny tasks, I'm going to do this right now just to show you guys. Do not do this in your tiny task. In our past tiny task, we would just go like this with all our units, right? This is how I would place my units in previous tiny tasks. I would go around and spam. Don't do that. But that's how I would do it. And the reason why I would do it like that is so that if one of these placements ever got messed up, it would get placed somewhere else. But the issue with that is when it comes time to sell, if one of those placements did get messed up and the unit's placed somewhere else, you're not going to sell it, which messes up the entire tiny task. So don't do that. Now that we have reached wave 23 is what we're going to do. Because our units are going to be in one placement, they cannot be anywhere else because we only placed them once, we will simply go around, click on each unit, and click sell. All you gotta do, guys, just go around, click on each unit, click sell. As long as you place them in one spot and you didn't spam them around the map like I just showed as an example, don't do it, then these units will sell. Unless the very, very low chance that when you try to click on a unit, an enemy or something gets in the way. If that's the case, then that unit may still be alive, and if you're paranoid about it, you can always click after you sell it, always click where the unit was, and pretend like you're selling again, like this. You can always do that if you want. I'm going to go ahead and click on this Endeavor, sell, and then this Denji, sell, and there we go. Now we're done. Well, not actually. Probably the most important part here, creating a successful loop. This ending part is extremely important. This is the part where actually most people will get this messed up. They either A, don't give the teleport enough time, or B, they give it too much time, and so the tiny task just waits too long, and then it may start automatically, and then units get through before you even place down defense. So the timing here is critical. We don't want to get this wrong. So I'll show you guys how to do it, and we're going to wait until we lose, but we're not going to instantly click continue and replay once we lose. It's important that after we lose, we give about another, I don't even know. Oh, look, I didn't even sell these dungeons, guys. See, I forgot to sell these dungeons, but see how stuff is still getting through with enough HP to kill us. So, I did not see those dungeons because they were covered up by these boats, meaning I couldn't click on them, right? But that's fine. We're still gonna lose. The units are too strong for 2 non-upgraded level 100 dungeons to take care of. That's why I told you guys not to upgrade your units. So we will lose, but I will give it, and I want you guys to also give it, about 20 seconds after you lose. So we're going to count to about 20, and we're not going to do anything in those 20 seconds. We're just going to wait on this screen. 20 seconds, we're just going to spam the next button. Not in the same spot. See how I am slowly moving my mouse still where the next button is. Alright, it's always going to be here. It's not going to leave this region. But I'm spam clicking right now, right where it would be. I'm going to do this for about another 5 seconds. And then once that is done, we will hit replay. Spam replay, actually, in case the teleport fails on the first one. So now I'm going to go up. I'm going to click it a few times. Not too many. That's enough. Now I'm going to go back and pretend like the next is here again, or whatever it is. I don't know. So we're going to go ahead and click that button again, and then we'll click replay one more time like that. And now we are done. We are going to wait until we actually load. Now this is the RNG part. Sometimes it teleports fails. It used to do that a lot. I think AA really worked on that and fixed that, so that's really nice. But I think it could still happen sometimes. If that happens, unfortunately, the tiny task will break, and when you wake up or when you get back from school or whatever, you will just have to reset it. But sometimes this loading screen, sometimes how long it takes this loading screen can be longer than other times. That's why at the start of the tiny task, we made sure we did not click yes. We gave it like the entire 30 seconds because it may take longer to load in, and that's why we also didn't start zooming out until about 9-ish seconds. If we zoomed out at the start, but we didn't load in our second try or a second playthrough, then that would get messed up. Now, guys, we're just going to hit F8 once the text fades away. Bam. Recording done. All I did was hit F8 once that faded away, so the timing did a loop. I'm going to save the file. I will just call it animeadventures, and then we'll go ahead. Continuous playback is on. And then all I would have to do is hit Control-Shift-Alt-P. Keep in mind, we have to restart now because, well, the timing's all messed up. But that's how you do that, guys. It's actually pretty simple once you get the hang of it. And I know it might take you guys a little bit of time to actually figure it out. A lot of people ask me for a file. It's not going to happen. Okay, I can't give you guys the file. Trust me, it will not work with your computer, MacBook, laptop, whatever you're on. So that's how you do it, guys. I hope you guys did find this video helpful. And also, you guys can see, we got new drip. We got new drip. We've updated the fit. So what we're going to be doing now, guys, is every video, we are going to get one new name for our animals. We got a duck, capybara, rat, pig, and goose. So, for this video, we will be naming Goose. This goose is stealing our keys, in case that helps you make a name. The most liked comment on this video, just make sure you specify in the comment, like, the goose should be named blank. Make sure you specify that. The most liked comment will be chosen as the name for our goose. And we will announce that name in a future video. And then we will have another animal to choose from. So there you guys go. That is going to do it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching to the end. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.